Hello, my friends. It's Risa coming to you live on Friday for some heart to heart conversation. Today is for you if you are feeling like perhaps you have outgrown your relationship. Do you know that feeling? Type in, by the way, say hi if you're here, if you can relate to this topic. Like maybe you feel like you've just grown and expanded and your partner hasn't. You've just kind of grown apart, or you're looking for different things now in a partner. Because, we're always growing, right? We're always evolving. You're not the same person you are now that if you've been in a relationship for a long time, and neither is your partner. But I know sometimes people grow and expand at different rates and in different ways. And so we attract from where we are. And I know when I got married, when I met my husband, I attracted someone who was not really that emotionally available. I didn't feel like that at the time because I wasn't really emotionally available to myself. Does that make sense? So it felt safe. It's sort of like, everything's energy, sort of a vibrational match. So we attract from where we are. And so, so maybe your motivations now, you're realizing now, is different than your reasons for entering into the relationship in the beginning. And one thing I want to say about this idea of intimacy, I like this definition of intimacy. If you've ever seen "Into Me I See," intimacy. And so this, this idea of emotional intimacy, I know that was something that that was a big issue for me. And I hear pretty much across the board, that's one of the main concerns that people have, is like, I just don't have that emotional connection. And I like this quote from a man named John Gottman, who, by the way, is has a lot of really good books. If you're looking for some information about relationships, you might want to check out John Gottman. But this is a quote from him. He says, "Emotional connection is not a thing you have or don't have. It's an action that you take." So it's like, if that's your main concern in your relationship, is that I just don't feel that sense of connection, we've grown apart, just know that intimacy is actually a skill. It's not a noun, it's a verb. It's something that we can create, even if it's been a really long time of feeling disconnected. And that and communication skills, that's the other big one. And in fact, research shows communication is the number one thing that both men and women actually say they would like to learn how to do better. And so if you feel like those are your main issues, it's just that sense of emotional connection and communication, just know that those are things that it actually is quite possible to improve. And, but how do we really get the clarity? How do you really get to that clarity? If you have that feeling like I just feel like I've kind of outgrown this relationship, it's not what I want. I have a few tips for you today. So number one, take a breath. And just know that somewhere in your heart, you already know, like I would venture to say, somewhere in your heart, deep down in your heart, you probably already know if this is something that you feel like, I still see some potential, I still want to try and see if we can make it work. And it's, if you feel that way, then it is possible with the right tools and the right support. And I think that's the problem, is that most people, they just haven't gotten the right kind of support they need to really see if they can help the relationship evolve. But if I think I kind of knew somewhere deep down in my heart for a really long time, even before I got married, that I kind of always felt like, this is probably not going to be the most soul fulfilling relationship, but it sort of checked all the boxes. And it's so that's neither here nor there now. But that's the other powerful question you can ask yourself is, what's my motivation? This is a really powerful question, and I asked myself this a lot when I was trying to figure out the answer to the question of whether or not I should stay or go in my relationship. It's like, what's my motivation for staying? And so I would invite you to just think about that question a little bit. You know, what's my motivation? And I know for me, for a long time, it was really just fear. And that's usually what keeps us sort of feeling stuck in things that we're not happy with, or kind of stuck in that indecision. Because indecision can actually be kind of like a protective mechanism, sort of our mind's way of keeping us safe. Because if we really start to entertain the idea of leaving, that just brings up so much, so much fear, and the idea of so much change. It's threatening. It's threatening to that part of our brain that just wants to keep us safe. So indecision can be a protective mechanism. But you can ask yourself, just if you're willing to be honest, what's my motivation for staying? Is it just fear? Am I afraid I don't want to be alone? Am I never going to find someone better? It's like, just notice like all the thoughts that are coming up for you. And, or do I just really feel like there's still love here? There's still potential here for this to improve. And then it might be a matter of getting just the right kind of tools and support to see if you can make that improve. But the real clarity, like I said, my real message for you today is that just to trust yourself, trust your heart, and know that you deserve to be happy, and that you can be happy no matter what. And the way that we get to that real clarity is that we have to, we sort of have to be willing to take responsibility for how we feel, and to do our own inner work, just to release any old patterns that may be at play, that are, maybe allowing us to settle for something that ultimately is not going to be in our best interest. So that's another topic for another day, is the relationship clarity process, and the power that you have as one person to do your own inner work, to change the whole dynamic of the relationship, and to get really clear within yourself, and to come in really good, right, loving relationship with yourself. So you can, when we get clear within ourselves, we get in alignment with our truth, then everything becomes clear. But for today, just, your tips to remember are: take a breath, just honor your heart. Wherever you're at right now, it's okay. However you're feeling, just know you can trust your heart. And you can ask yourself, what's my motivation for staying? Or what's my motivation for leaving? We don't want to do it out of a reaction to anything our partner's doing. That's another topic also for another day. But what's my motivation? And really, and I always tell you this all the time, because this is step one, is just for now, take another breath, and if you can just focus on self-care right now. What do I need to do today? Just take care of myself. And this is your homework. I want you to find one thing that you can either do or think about that's just going to make you feel good today. And just get your mind off everything that's not working, because it's not going to help us solve the problem by continuing to focus on the problem and feeling bad. It's like, does that sound like a good idea? Type in if you like this homework. Find one thing you can do to just nurture yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever that maybe looks like. If it's just 5 minutes, come outside, get your feet on the earth, take a few breaths. So I hope this is helpful for you today. Give it a thumbs up. That gives me some feedback, so I can know how to best support you if this is helpful. But I just really want to encourage you to honor your heart and how you feel. It's really perfectly valid. And I would also say, the more discontent you feel, the more important it is for you to pay attention and honor how you feel. And that's actually a good sign. Not that it feels comfortable to feel that sense of discontent, but that's your heart, darling, calling you. It's calling for your attention. It's like a little child that's crying and it's upset, and the more we don't pay attention, then the louder it's going to cry. Your heart is not going to let you continue to be unhappy. So that's kind of good news and bad news, because we don't feel good. But there's support available. If you I wasn't going to do this week, but if you want support in getting this figured out, I'll drop a link into the comments. I might be able to open up a few more spaces on my calendar in the next week or so for a complimentary relationship clarity session. If you feel like you're ready for some more support and you want to get on a private call with me, all completely confidential, and we can also talk about what it might look like to do some more work together if you feel like you want more support and I feel like I can help you. But there's no obligation. I'm happy to just help you get a little more clarity on what do you need to focus on. What's your one next step that you need to do in order to move in the direction of getting the clarity you need. So I love you. Take good care of you. Remember, always your bottom line go-to question: what do I need to do right now to take care of myself? What do I need to do today to just take care of me? All right, be gentle with yourself. I love you. Click that link if you want some more support. All right, darling. Lots of love. Mwah. Bye for now.